Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How did the homework go? Do you have any questions about the homework, the practice problems? And please put your camera on. Can we do 3 and 7? Okay, we look at those. Okay, please put your camera on. So number 3. Okay. So we have the following function, f of x equal -2 if x is between -3 and -1. Okay. And it's 1 if x between -1 and 2. And finally, it's 3 if x is 4 bigger or equal to x, bigger or equal to 2. Or this read x between 2 and 4. I don't know why they put it backward. Okay, so and the question is basically we graph this function. So before we graph it, let me ask you a very straightforward question, and I want the answers to be on the chat very quickly. So suppose I ask what is f of -2? What is f of 0? What is f of 1? What is f of 4? Right, quickly. What's f of -2? Please, I would like the answers on the chat. -2 is Jessica, right? -2. Okay, let's see where is -2. -2 satisfies this condition. So the rule for anything that satisfies this condition is that it is -2. Now, what's f of 0? Sorry, that's a 0. Please put your camera on. It helps me when I am working with you. 1, okay, let's see if she's right. 0, which condition satisfied? It satisfies this condition. It means the rule tells me that it has to be 1. Okay. f of 1. Everybody telling me 1. Let's see if they are right. f of 1, yeah, it satisfied this condition. f of 1 is 1. And finally, what is f of 4? Okay, 3. Very good. Now we have to graph it. And to graph it, this is function which is on different interval. There is a different rule. So it's going to be really 3 pieces in here. So let us really draw this function. Okay. I'm following this rule. First, I want to sketch it between -3 and -1. If x is between -3 and -1, no matter what x is, the output is -2. So -3, that's the input value. So -1, -2, -3, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to put some kind of guidelines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and -1, -2, -3. Okay. So f of x is -2 for x between -3 and 1. So this is -3, and this is -1. F is -2. How should the graph look like? How should the graph looks like? Okay, I am listening. So it's -2 for x between -3 and -1. That's the piece I am graphing now. How should the graph looks like?
Would it be a line starting at -1 and then ending at -3?
What type of line? You're absolutely correct. What kind of line? It's a line.
Segment?
What?
Segment?
Line segment. Now, who can help? Content, I don't, what do you mean, Jessica?
Sorry, I meant to say constant, like it goes straight.
Constant. Yeah, it's constant.
Constant
Yes.
line.
So
Yeah.
how's the what? So how's the line gonna look like? It's constant. You guys are right. There is one word I'm see if you guys can get it to me. So no matter what x here, the output is -2. So the line is going to be starting here. And in between, it's constant, means the line have to be absolutely a horizontal line. Horizontal was the word I'm looking for. Okay, horizontal, not continuous. Horizontal is the word I'm looking for. So the line has to be.
Are one of the points supposed to be an open circle?
Oh, I have to look up the, oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. Yeah. As constant. So the value, the output is the same, regardless what x is. F is 2, -2. Regardless what it is, it's -2. And that should be exactly -1. So I have to be kind of, okay, that's really my graph. So that's the first piece. Now the second piece, between -1 and 2. So it's -1 and 2. It's 1. Okay, now the second piece, this one. Means if x between -1 and 2, so that's a 2, the output is always 1. So at -1, so that's a 1. So it's again, it's constant. So it's like it's a piece by piece. So that's 2. That's the second piece. So the graph will consist of a bunch of pieces. Now the last piece, it's 3. So I'm rewriting basically the function, and that's the piece I'm drawing now. For x between 2 and 4. So 2, 3, this is 4. And so if I take any x between here and here, the output is 3. So if this is 3 right here, so it's a constant. So now we have working with constant function. At 1, so this is 2, that's open. That's open up here. And then at 4, it's closed at 3. So this is 4, I go all the way up. And everywhere in between, it's a constant value. It's a 3. Okay, so the graph consists of 3 pieces, and in this particular problem, each one of them is just a horizontal line because the function is constant on each of those intervals.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So for when we're solving for multiple values, like in this problem, like when we went from where the first line was to graphing the second and the third line,
Yes.
how do we know where to put the other lines at? That was kind of where I got confused on the homework.
Okay, up to -1. So the first domain is stopping at -1, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the piece. That's -1. I'm putting my ruler on purpose. Where is the second one picking up?
The second one begins at 1,
No,
correct?
no, -1.
Oh. Wait, oh, -2, right?
That's the first one.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
the
it begins
first.
at 2.
The second piece, the output is 1 between -1 and 2.
Okay. And then it's just moving it up from the third one or to the third one?
So that's the second piece. That's to go piece by piece. That's the second piece.
Okay.
So it starts between -1 open to 2 closed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is but at -1 it's open. So that's where my open circle is. So I'm starting at -1 with an open circle and keep straight till I hit a 2 with my closed circle.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm getting to you.
No, I understand what you're saying. I was confused on figuring out when we had to like stop and like put the points and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like
So
I understand what you're saying now.
this one starts at 2, ends at 4. So when I hit 2, I'm gonna keep my ruler. It's closed because of the previous scenario. But now I'll open it because it's even it start here, but 2 is not included. And then I keep going.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now, so let's look at number 7. Again, it's a bunch of pieces. Okay, so this is my function f of x equal. I'm gonna okay, f of x equal. It's minus x squared. Now, we've never sketched minus x squared in class, but I will do it in a second. If x is less or equal to minus 2, and it's x squared when x is between minus 2 and 3. As I said, the piece by piece, and then x, if x is larger than 3. So that's really what they are giving me, and that's what I want to work with. So their first question is the following. The first question is, answer the following question. And by now, I feel that all of you are able to answer those questions with ease. So they want me to find f of 0, f of 3, f of 6, and f of minus 3. Okay, so that's the first question. All right, so what is f of 0 quickly? I know you guys know the answers to that. 0 because, let's see, what's 0? 0 is here, so it's 0 squared, which is 0. What is f of 3? Oh. Absolutely, it's not defined. There is no, regardless which interval I have, 3 is not included in none of them, so this is undefined. I repeat why it's undefined, because I want 3, so it's not, doesn't satisfy this condition. It doesn't satisfy this condition 3. It doesn't satisfy this condition, so f of 3 is not defined. It means 3 is not in the domain. 3, there is no output for 3, meaning 3 is not in the domain of the function. Now, what is f of 6? Because it satisfies this condition. What is f of minus 3? Minus 9, I think she's right. Minus 3 satisfies the first condition, so the output is minus the quantity minus 3 squared. Now let us be careful. Minus 3 squared means minus 3 times minus 3. It means it's a 9. So the answer is minus 9. It's not a positive 9, because we have to be careful with how it is. Minus 3 squared means minus 3 times minus 3, which is positive 9. And I have the minus from here giving me a negative 9. Okay. Part B is, find the average rate of...
Real quick, I'm sorry, can you explain again where you got that minus in front of the...
Yeah, what is the rule? I always go by the rule. If x is minus 3, which conditions are satisfied? 1, 2, or 3?
2, right?
No.
Or 3, 3.
No.
Wait.
What's the input here?
Oh, okay, I see. All
With
right.
me?
Negative 3, yeah, okay, yeah, I see.
So it satisfies the first one.
Yeah, all right. All right, thank you.
Now, no problem. Now, find the average rate of change on the interval. Which interval do I want? X between minus 2 and 4. Okay, so we're going to find the formula, average rate of change. It's the output at 4 minus the output at minus 2 divided by 4 minus 2. Okay, what do we get? Anybody figure this out? Four minus 2, that's a 6. But then I need f of 4 and I need f of minus 2. So I will find those on the side or down here. Okay, what is f of 4? Okay, f of 4 is
4.
4. So let's take care of f of 4. Now what's f of minus 2? What is f of minus 2? Minus 4, she's right, because minus 2 is right there. So it's minus 2 squared, which is minus 4. So now I have 4 minus 4. It means 8 over 6. Now if I divide by 2 both sides and I simplify this, I will get 4/3. Okay. Now what do they want? Find the graph the function f. Okay, now we have to sketch the graph of the function f. First, we do it, as I said, piece by piece. And as I build up the piece, as I graph, I start adding more pieces. So I start with the first piece. So first I'm gonna, f of x is equal to, it's this rule when x is less or equal to minus 2. Sorry, when you guys don't see, let me know. So it's this rule, minus x squared, when x is less or equal to minus 2. So I'm going to concentrate on the first piece and stop. That's my first piece. So minus 2 is here. Minus 1, 1, 2, 3, and then minus 3, and so on. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Is the graph of this piece, is this a line? Yes or no? So minus x squared, that's absolutely not a line. The line, the power of x has to be 1, period. So it's mx plus b. So I'm not gonna get a line. And we haven't graphed this. Probably a lot of you know it. We haven't graphed this, but so the only way out for us is to take a bunch of values and see how the graph is gonna look like. So the first piece, I'm gonna take a bunch of values and see what I'm going to come up with. But I know I'm gonna stop at minus 2. So I'm gonna take values less than minus 2 to be able to have a good graph. Now for those who know the graph, you should know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get basically a parabola going down. That's gonna be the graph, but let us pick it up. So I'm gonna take a bunch of values. I need to stop at minus 2. So I'm gonna take minus 2. I take values before minus 2, because that's the piece I'm interested in, up to minus 2. So I'm gonna take, let us say, minus 3 and minus 4, and then connect the dots. At minus 4, we're gonna get minus 4 squared, minus 16. Minus 3 squared, minus 9, minus 2 squared, minus 4. That's not gonna be a line. So if we're gonna graph it carefully, we'll not get a line. So now I'm gonna go down here and then I plot them. Minus 2 is minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's at minus 2. And minus 3 is 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's really what we're doing. So it's a point right here. At minus 4 is minus 16. 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. 16. So right here, it's 16. So now I'm going to kind of connect those. It's not going to be a line. It's going to be something like that. It's curving, and I stop at minus 2. Okay. I stop. It's not a line. It's going to be like a curve, but we stop graphing at exactly minus 2. And this point here is minus 2, minus 4. Question. Now I took care of the first piece. As you realize, I stopped minus 2. And this is closed here because the minus 2 is included. Now the second piece. It's x squared between minus 2 and 3. So now I'm going to go from minus 2 to 3. 1, 2, 3, up to here. Neither one is included. And I'm going to graph this function only on this interval. All right, x squared Okay, I'm going to take a bunch of values. This is not a line. So I'm going to take a bunch of values, x squared. Now, I like to take -2, but I will open it at -2 because I want to know where I am supposed to start. So at -2, I'm going to get 4. At, let us say, -3, sorry, my apology. -3 is wrong because I have to restrict myself between here and here. So I will take like -1, which is going to be a 1. I'll take a 0. Then I'll take a 1, which is going to be 1. And I take at 3, for example, which is going to be 9. And now I sketch those points. So at 2, right here, that's a 4. It's going to be open at 4. At 1, I am at 1 down here. At 0, I am here. So that's the parabola that a lot of you, I'm sure, are familiar with. And at 3, I'm going all the way to 9. So this is my 9 here. So this is my 3. And I need a 9. So that's 3. And I need to go all the way up here. That's my 9. So now my graph will go like this. I connect my dot. That's a typical parabola. Goes up here. But at -3, the problem wants me to open it up. -3, I'm going up here. And I stop. That's my second piece. Now my last piece, x. Now, is this a line? Yes or no? Are you guys with me? Is this a line? The last piece. When we graph it, absolutely. So now we have to graph this line. But I'm interested in this line when x is greater than 3. At 3, it seems that the function is not defined. It's not in the domain. So let me finally, I graph the last one, x. So that's the last piece. Okay, at 3, it's 3. At 4, it's 4. So at 3, so this is my 4 here. So that means this is my 3. So at 3, it is open like that. And then at 4, it is a 4. And then it keeps climbing. That's my last piece. So at 3, we have, so if this is 3, and if I align them, which is I should align them. So this is at 3, it's open at 3, and then it goes into a straight line. And this is really my graph. Those are the 3 pieces. So this piece down here, it's the -x squared piece. This parabola, that's the x squared piece between -2 and 3. And this is the y equal to x. And that's really my graph, piece by piece by piece. Questions before I move on? Okay, so today, what we're going to do today is we're going to start moving backward. In other words, I'm going to give you the graph, but it's going to be a bunch of lines because it's hard for us to figure the parabola picture from here back to here. So I will give you the graph, and then we have to come up with the formula that will fit my graph. So I will start with the first one, and the worksheet are on Brightspace that I've asked you to do it. So I'm going to do the first one by myself, and then the second one, half myself, half you, and then the last one, you guys will do it. All right. Problem number 1. Below is the graph of a function. That's my function. It's defined between -1, as you realize, and 2. So that's really the domain of my function. The question is, find a formula for f of x. Means you have to give me a rule so that if I know x, I know f of x using the rule. I know f of x using the graph. Now I know a rule that will give me f of x, which should match my graph. Right. It's actually an easy problem. It's not a hard problem. From here to here, that's a straight line. Just a line. I'm going to call it L. L is the line. So to find a formula for f, I first need the equation of this line because I want the rule that if I know x, I know the y. So what we're going to start by, so we're going to find the equation of the line L. Okay, that's what we have to start by. Now, It is a line. So if I want to find this equation, I need 2 points. So using the graph, I need the 2 points, x and y. Because I need the rule, I need y as a function of x. Okay, who can give me 2 points on this line?
0, -2.
0, -2. That's the perfect point because this is where the intercept occur. But I need another one because I need to find the equation. I need 2 points. Oh, there are hundreds of points, you guys. Give me another one. Put it on chat quickly. Any point on the line. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. No, this is not on the line. If x is 2, y is not 2. 1, 0. 1, 0. Yeah, this is a point on the line. Yeah, 2, 2 is not on the line. That's the point 2, 2. That's not on the line. 1, 0 would do. Means if x is 1, y is 0. Is that right? X is 1, y is 0. Oh, sorry, this is -1 here. My apology. Because this is -2, so this is down here is -1. Okay, so the reason you're doing some stupid mistake is that this is a half. So that's a 1 here. That's why you're doing mistakes. Okay, so now let me find the equation. So the slope is the change, 0 minus -1 over 1 minus 1. The slope is 1. And actually, if we look a little bit at the graph, we realize that the slope is 1. And the equation, you can use the point slope form or the slope intercept. So let me use the slope intercept because I actually have the intercept. So it's going to be very easy. Y is mx plus b, but m, the slope is 1. It means my y is x plus b. But now I know that the intercept. So I know that this one. We know that if x is 0, y is -1. So b should be -1. If I plug in -1 for y and 0 for x, I get b equal -1. So the equation is y equal x minus 1. That's the equation of the line. That's not the formula for f yet. That's the equation of this line. Okay. Anybody has a question about the equation? Now let me go back to the function. So this line, the equation is y equal x minus 1. But now how are we going to write the formula for f of x? What's going to be f of x? If I tell you f of equal x minus 1, the answer will not be correct because x minus 1 makes sense for all x. But my function f here, its domain is between -1 and 2. So the way we're going to write the formula is like this. It's x minus 1, that's the output. For x between, this is the domain now. For x between -1, open at 2. And that's going to be the formula for my function. Okay, so the formula should reflect that the domain is between -1 and 2. So I will write x minus 1, that's the rule, but for x between -1 and 2, because my function is not defined beyond this interval. And it's going to be closed at -1. So that's the introduction. Now we're going to move from this problem to a more piecewise-like function. But that's the important part. So if I want to write a formula for this, I have to reflect the idea that outside -1, 2, there is no output. So I reflect that by writing, this is the rule as long as x is between -1 and 2. Now we're going to do another problem where I'm going to add a piece to this one. So I'm going to take this graph, but I'm going to add a piece to it. So if you notice very well, this is and this are the same. I added a piece. And the question is, find a formula for this function. So how are we going to do that? As I said, I will do the first by myself, and then I will let you work on the last one. This consists of 2 pieces. I'm going to call this line L1, and this line L2. But to find a formula, I find the equation of L1, find the equation of L2, and then I'm going to piece them together. L1 is, so equation of L1, we just did it a minute ago. It was x minus 1. That's the exact same line we did before. Now I need to find the equation of L2. Right, I don't have this line, so I need to find it. To find the equation of L2, I need 2 points, as I did before. And which 2 points will do for me? I'll let you pick the point. Remember that this is 1 here. This is 3 here. So we don't do the same mistake we messed up with before. All right, who can give me 2 points on this line quickly? 5, 0. Okay. I will accept it, even though not strictly on the line, but we can use it and we take care of that at the end. And at 3, 2. 3, 2. I have to check. This is 3. This is 2. Yeah, it works. Okay, now we find the slope. Okay, the slope is. Now we know it's going to be negative because the line is falling. So we have always to make sure our numbers make sense. So it's going to be the change here, 2 minus 0 over 3 minus 5. That's just the change in y, and that's the change in x here. It means 2 over minus 2, which is minus 1. Okay, I got my slope. Now the equation, I can use either.
Isn't it negative 2 over negative 2?
No, it's 2 minus 0. That's the change in y. So if you think of it as x1, y1, and x2, y2. x1, y1 is 5, 0, and this is 3, 2. Okay, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 3 minus 5. The student will ask me the question. Understand what I said? No? So what is y2 minus y1? Over x2 minus x1. y2 is 2. y1 is 0. x2 is 3 minus 5. So it's 2 over the minus 2 from the 3 minus 5, which is giving me the minus 1. Okay. Now the equation. I have the slope. I need to find the equation. We can do it 2 ways. Either slope intercept or point slope. So this one I'm going to use the point slope. So we can practice both ideas. So I have the slope and I need a point. I can use this point. So 0 for y and x is minus 5. And then this would give me y equal minus x plus 5. Questions? All right. Now I'm going to put the whole thing together. So what did we find so far? We found that this line L2, its equation is minus x plus 5. This line, its formula is x minus 1. Okay. And now the question is, what is going to be f of x? So what is f of x? So these are only the equation of the line. I didn't give you a formula for f of x. What's going to be f of x equal to? Can anybody give it their best shot? How do you think I'm going to define f of x?
It's not undefined, is it?
No. What's going to be the rule so that if I know x, so what's going to be the function here? If I graph it, I will get that. What's going to be the formula for a function? When I graph it, I get exactly that.
So you're asking like what will we put into there, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
What should I put here?
So would it be x minus 1
X minus 1
if
if
that's -1. So
Yeah,
if
let's
it's
look at it.
-1 is less than or equal to x, that is less than 2.
2. That's the rule between -1 and 2. I'm not done yet.
Did you want me to do the second one?
Yeah. I don't care. Just one. Yeah. You start to go. Get going. You're doing fine. Keep going.
Okay, and then the second one will be -x plus 5 if 2
2, the
is
stem is included. Yeah.
yeah
going.
yeah, and then is less than 5.
Exactly, less than 5. That's now the formula for this function. Okay, that's how we write the formula for this function. Okay, this, if you take that, you graph it, you're going to get exactly this one. Okay. All right, before I move on to the last piece, I want to ask you the following questions. Okay, let me see, I need a piece of paper. Okay. I'm going to tell you to do that. I'm going to tell you, evaluate. So this is the function and this is the graph. This is given to you. This you guys found it. Let's see if we're doing fine in the following idea. I'm going you to evaluate f at -0.5. That's the same. And I want you to evaluate it in 2 ways. One way using the graph that's given to you. And the second way, use the formula that you guys gave me. And the question is, if we don't get the same answer, something is wrong. Okay, so what's f of -0.5 using the graph? I give you a minute. What's f of -0.5 using the formula? The graph and the formula represent the same function, the same rule. Okay, I give you a minute to be able to answer my question. Whatever you find, put it on chat. Look at the graph very carefully. Watch the scale. The scale seems to be confusing. So watch the scale. So this is 1. Here it's 1. This is 2. All of you, keep going. All right. Okay, now we're getting there. Did you get that answer both ways? If we don't get the same answer both ways, it means by graph or by formula, we are not doing it right. So for those who answered the question, did you get the same answer, both formulas and graph? Tell me yes or no on chat. Yeah, okay, so let's see. F at -0.5, this is -0.5, right there. F at -0.5, it means I go all the way till I hit the graph, right there. Now this is, according to my scale, this is the -1.5. So the graph tells me that the output should be -1.5. Now, what does my formula tells me? Because my formula should represent the same function. So my formula tells me if x is -0.5, I am right there, -0.5. So by the formula tells me it should be -0.5 -1, which is exactly -3/2 or -1.5. So they definitely agree. So my function kind of really represent the same function. I'll try 1 values, and I want all of you to know what I am talking about. So suppose I take f at, I don't know, 3.5, let us say. And I want all of you to evaluate it 2 ways, using the graph and using the formula we came up with, and see if they match. So I'll do my best to have both in front of you. And I want f of 3.5. Okay, I'm getting stuff. And you have to make sure you get them both ways the same. Good. Are we getting the same answers? So 3.5, this is my 3. This is F4, 3.5 is stuck in the middle. The output here, according to my graph, that's the output. Yeah. And then I go back here, it's right there. So this is 1, so that's happened to be 1.5. So the graph is telling me 1.5. Now the formula. 3.5 is between 2 and 5, so that's the rule that is assigned to it. So the rule is 3.5 minus 3.5 plus 5. Now, if you take those away, you get 1.5. So at least for those two values, those two represent the same function, represent the same. All right, so now we're going to do the last problem, and this one I want you to do it yourself. So it's 3 pieces, and you would like to find a formula for this function. So please get going. Let's call this L1. I'm going to call this L2, and I'm going to call this one L3. So find the equation for each line and then piece them together in one big formula. All right, so get going. And please, every one of you, do it. And put your faces, your camera on. I'm tired of telling you this. Now, in case you don't see that very well, it's the same thing is on bright space. Okay. Those who finish L1, please put your answers on bright space for me, on chat, so I know what you guys are doing. L1, I want the answers for L1. All of you should have been done at least with L1 by now. Okay. I want L1, not L1 is this one. Okay, I have one answer. I would rather have more than one. Okay, I'm having another one. So for X. Okay, anybody got L1? I'm having 2. So this is a 4 in here. Okay. All right, so I'm having minus 2x plus 4. So let me make sure they are all correct. Of course, I know the 4 is correct because the B is the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is 4. So every student who gave me +4 is correct. The slope, I think they are right, but I have to check it out. So I'm going to pick any 2 points on the line. I definitely going to pick, if x is 0, y is 4. It will be not smart from my side if I don't do that, because that's the intercept. And then any other value, I don't really care. This looks like a nice value. So this is 2, 0. So now I find my slope. That's the change in y, 0 minus 4 over 2 minus 0. This is a minus 2. And in this problem, the b is 4. B is the intercept. B is the output when x is 0. That's really the b. Is what's the y when x is 0? So y is going to be minus 2x plus 4. That's for the first line. And then we're going to piece them together later on. Okay. Now I want L2. All of you should give me L2. Okay, when you find L2, please put the answers. And I want all of you to do it. Don't rely on each other. Everyone is responsible. So I don't have the y-intercept here, so we need more work. I don't know what's the intercept here, and I don't want to know. I'm getting 3x minus 6. Anybody getting that same answer? Cindy, which point did you work with? Cindy, can you talk? Do you have a speaker on, whatever, microphone? Cindy?
Yeah.
Can you tell me which
Yeah.
point you
Can you
worked
hear
with?
me? Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
4, 6.
You worked with 4, 6. I have to check them. I didn't memorize. So that's your 4. If it's 4 here, so I go up, it's 6. Yeah, that's correct. That's 1 point. What's your other point?
5, 9.
5, 9. Yeah, I think she's right. This is 5. This is 9. Yes, you're right. So the slope is the change 9 minus 6 over 5 minus 4. So it's a 3. So your slope is absolutely correct. Now I don't have the intercept here, so I have to do the whole work. So I'm going to use the slope intercept this time, just to practice both of them. It means 3x plus b. And then I pick a point, this one, and I say, okay, if I plug in 6 for y and 4 for x, this equation should be satisfied. And I use that approach to get the b. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 6. So my y would be 3x minus 6. And your classmate's answer is correct. Now L3. Okay, you guys done? I pull up the picture. What's the equation for L3? It should take 1 second for L3. Please put your answers for L3. Okay. Y equal, y negative 6. Grace, why negative?
Is it because, oh, I never mind, I messed up.
I know.
It was 6.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know that. I know it was a Okay, y equal to 6, absolutely correct, because this is a constant function. So if you take any point here, regardless y equal to 6. So whenever you have a horizontal line, the equation of the horizontal line is y equal to 6. Now, what's the slope for this line? Just what's the slope of this line? Quickly. What's the slope? Is 0. The slope is 0 because the change in y, there is no change in y. Y is fixed. And the slope is actually 0 in this problem. And the equation is y equal to 6. So now I got the formula for every piece. And finally, I'm going to piece them together, put them together. So I'm going to put that up here. So that's the minus 2x plus 4. This is the 3x minus 6. And this is y equal to 6. That's a constant whenever a horizontal line, the equation is y equal to 6. And just as a reminder, vertical line, like suppose you have 6 here, the vertical is x equal to 6. Horizontal, y equal to 6. So it's very important to know those things. Now I'm going to piece it together. What is the formula for f? And now I'm going to write the formula. I want that when I graph it, I should get exactly that. So the first piece, it's minus 2x plus 4. As long as, so this is here, this is a 3. This the rule hold when x is less or equal to 3. That's when the rule hold. Between 3 and 5, the rule is 3x minus 6. And this hold between 3 is not included, and 5 is not included because I have open circle. And when x is larger or equal to 5, then whatever x is, the output will have to be 6. And that's really how we piece those together to have a formula. Okay. Now I'm going to do like I did in the previous one. I'm going to pick a value. I don't know what, just as a value. And I'm going to compute it 2 ways. One using the graph and one using the formula, because we're doing the same thing. We have a function, and the function could be given by a rule. It could be given by a graph, and they should be the same regardless how I give it to you. So let me pick a value, for example. I don't know. I have to pick it to be a little bit careful here. Let me pick f of 1. And I want it to be done 2 ways. First, graph. Second, the formula. And see if we get the same thing. I mean, do those agree, or with just nonsense here? Okay, everybody's getting 2. So the graph will give me a 2. The formula we'll write here. Minus 2 times 1 plus 4, which give me the 2. So they match. Okay. Let's see if I can take another, because of the way the graph is, I'm restricted with what I take. Let me take f of 4. Again, graph versus formula. So what do we get for 4? Six. Everybody telling me 6. It's 6 both ways. 6 here. The formula, I have to use this one. 3 times 4 minus 6, which is going to give me as well 12 minus 6 equal to 6. And now, so they agree. So suppose now I ask you find f of 1/2. Okay, what's f of 1/2? Use any approach you want. You can use the graph, you can use the formula. Which one you think is going to give you a more precise answer? So f of 1/2 One of them will give you a more precise answer. Which one do you think? Three, everybody's telling me three, so it's 1/2 is here. So the graph seems to be 3. That's me, the formula. That's the formula, agree. The graph seems to be 3. The formula is -2. Let's give me the exact value. This one will give me the exact value. -1 + 4, which is equal to 3. So now the formula will start giving me more exact values than the graph, because at this stage, if I start giving you find f of 0.8, that becomes problematic graphically, but the formula will give you the exact graph, the exact value. Okay. Next time, of course, we're going to start a new section, but we're going to do also a word problem where this function comes up. I mean, we don't study them. We study them for what they are, but we study them because they really occur to describe a certain type of word problem. Right, so you guys can start the quiz. I have to remind you that your online homework is due on Thursday. So please do it. Do the practice problem. There are only 3 of them. And print the worksheet that I will put on Brightspace by Wednesday evening. Please get going to your quiz.